Today I want to talk to you about the gift economy in the realm of marijuana. And we're going to talk about how the gift economy and the capitalist economy interact in this realm. So, and I'm just going to call it weed because that's what I call it. It's easier. So a lot of people smoke weed, and I'm from the West Coast, like a lot of people. And everyone kind of has it and shares it. And it's actually almost like this legacy from the Native Americans because they had a tradition. Well, I'm not Native American, but I've heard they had a tradition to have like a pouch of tobacco and basically share it wherever you go. You always have your pouch of tobacco, and that's like your way of breaking bread. And you just do that, and that basically is how you maintain relationships. You show goodwill when you come somewhere. You're giving gifts everywhere you go, in a sense, but it's easy to carry far distances and have a small amount, and still it's like very valuable. Which is funny because on the flip side, capitalism, when it finds something precious and valuable and it like makes it impossible to get. And that's kind of happened after weed became legalized, because even though, capitalism had already happened and it was already like captured by that whole system and it was being bought and sold, but you can grow it, so you can use it still for free. You can still give it to people for free. So it continued having this culture of the gift economy. Everyone knew, like, if you have weed and you go to a party, you're supposed to smoke out everyone at the party, If your friends have weed and you don't, then you're just, it's not hard to be like, hey, can I, smoke a bowl, or like, let's smoke some weed, You have weed, I don't. Everyone just knows that you offer it at every opportunity. That's just what it's for. It's like to spread good vibes. Good vibes are not just the high, but also the fact that people are giving it to each other. And this is crazy because I didn't use money for years at all, and I always had weed. And it was like amazing. I mean, some people could say I was mooching or something because like I never provided any weed, but I did provide things, People saw me as a valuable part of the community and just kept smoking me out. Even the fact I wasn't using money sometimes was enough of a reason for someone to be like, damn, really? Let's smoke a bowl. So you definitely didn't need money to get weed. Flash forward a few years, and I just have to paint this picture. I'm at a house, people are hanging out, and remember, I have not used money, and I'm never the one to provide the weed. So I was so proud to have weed finally. And I'm not sure if this is when I was starting to use money again, or if this was just because someone had given me like a nug or something. But I had enough to share, and I was at this house, and I'm homeless all the time. I never have anything to offer, at least to house these. I have stuff to offer to other homeless people, but that's like, to house these, they're like, what is this trash? I have better shit. So I never have anything to offer to house these. So finally I had weed, and I was like, I'm going to come in there. I'm going to do the thing, share the weed. And I come in there and I'm like, all right, check this out. Let's smoke a bowl. And everyone pulls out a vape pen. and like this person's like, oh, I'm good. I've got a vape pen. And the other person's like, oh, I'm good. I've got a vape pen. And the other person's like, oh, I'm good. I've got a vape pen. And mind you, this is before the pandemic. I don't know if people are weirder about sharing pipes or whatever now. I'm weirder about it, like, with strangers, because I've heard of, like, a joint laced with fentanyl killing someone I know. So, things have definitely gotten darker in the world than whenever this was, like, 12 years ago or something. But, yeah, so it's just interesting, like, so even before all that, it was just like the fact that weed had become a consumer item. It was now on the shelves. Anyone could get it. All you needed is an ID. And now it was like everyone has their own weed. And I don't know, that just snuck up like, okay, we can all buy weed now, but we also could buy weed before. But there was just a little resistance for everyone having weed because it was illegal. So now there's no, like, now it just becomes in the realm of like, well, you should have your money and get your weed, which is like, no, no one should have to have the money and get, we need to be sharing things, and to see like this gift economy that was somehow preserved through it all to just vanish like the last piece of the gift economy. I mean, I'm sure people still share weed with their friends and stuff, but it seemed like the entire culture just got a lot different after you could get weed. Now you can decide what strain you want. People don't want to smoke your weed. It's not the right kind of weed. Like, it's so different now. And if you think about that happening to weed, just think about that times a million happening to everything on the planet, like when things went from the gift economy to capitalism, where everything became like, yeah, it's all good, hang out with us, smoke a bowl. Everything's now like, get your own weed. But that is like for everything, like food. Like, why should I give you my food? Why should I give you like a room in my house? Get out of here. Why should I, people won't even give you their trash. I mean, I'm talking about some people. There's a lot of good people out there, but some people have gotten this thinking so deep that they won't even like give anything away without selling it, even if it's trash, or they'll only throw it out. I mean, that's basically how businesses operate. So, that probably has mostly infected business people and managers and stuff like that. But, like I met someone whose job it was at a thrift store, mind you. So this is free clothes that are given away to the thrift store. So that's the gift economy, right? They give the clothes away. They're like, yeah, it's for homeless people and stuff. I'm just going to give them away. I'm not going to make any money off of it. But now it's in a thrift store. So you can't get it unless you have a little money. So it's still like hard to get. And then this thrift store, if they didn't sell stuff, this guy's job was to take those shirts to the dumpster and cut them up with scissors to make sure that there are no free shirts in this town. So you have to come to this thrift store. Like that's like the best illustration of like the gift economy being destroyed by capitalism. That's the world we live in now, is like we have an abundance of stuff, but we're just not figuring out how to share it. And even in our present reality, there are things still being taken away from the gift economy into capitalism, like that culture of sharing weed. So I just wanted to use that to illustrate that concept, because sometimes I talk about it without clear, specific examples or without modern examples, and I feel like that might illustrate that concept of how money really does destroy things and divide people. It destroys community. It makes us isolate ourselves and feel, we call it independence, but it's also the flip side is loneliness. We have a loneliness epidemic in the USA, and like our pride and independence is like the pinnacle of our society. So obviously they're probably related. Anyway, thanks for listening.